what they call the S&A, the Social and Activities Fund. They're taking a look at that, and it's too early to really figure out how much of that is going to be retained, but to be fair for people as much as possible. So I say that because that's in part from feedback from the parents of the community, and we try to be as responsive to that in our community engagement, and appreciate the administration that sees the value of doing stuff like that. So we as a school board, we as an administration want to engage the community, and we appreciate all of the feedback, whether it's critical or constructive. In either way, we need to hear what's being said. So we thank you for a community, for your patience and understanding, but also for your feedback that is very critical to us making choices and decisions. So that's what I wanted to say in our president's report.
Thank you, Richard. And it absolutely is right in line with what I was thinking about for the superintendent report, which is, again, to our families and our community, to the staff, to the kids, thank you for such a wonderful start to a totally off-the-wall world situation. There were questions that we had in the committee of the whole, how are kids doing in school, and kids are doing very well, and they're working through the classes in the way that they're supposed to, and they're staying socially distanced and all of those things. It's wonderful. But any of you parents out there who have ever picked your children up from school know the issues about driving through the circles and getting the children and picking them up, and sometimes our tempers get out of control, and all of those things happen. But I think the patience that's been demonstrated by everybody, even though we've changed everything at every school about pickups, the times, the spots, where the children are, it's all changed. And people are really doing a wonderful job of adjusting to those changes and giving grace to one another when, it's all new for everybody. So I just wanted to say thank you as well to everybody, and again to our staff for working through all of their changes as well, and doing it with grace and understanding for everybody is in their care. So been a wonderful start and to a wild year, and so I've got a couple of notes here about some student and staff accomplishments, and then some dates to follow up with. So related to our new and different year, we've been trying to have activities, and the fee that you were just mentioning, and hoping people understand where we are, and we're not sure how much and when things will happen. Well, here's some good news that we have to share, is that the one-act play this year will be held 100% virtually, so we can begin working on our one-act play. And you can conceive of that, right? Because you can do your performances virtually and distanced and ship those off on Zoom or whichever recorded way you would like to do it, and still the judges can see it, and never as good as it is in person probably, but still the one-act play can get underway. So that was one thing that I was really excited to hear about just today, so I thought I would mention that. We're still moving forward, and we've got some of the performing arts even getting out there. And in fact, yesterday I took a little video of our choir out singing against the building on the south side, getting the nice echo effect coming back to them. And so outside, socially distanced, singing, wonderful. Jamie sent me a message, Jamie Poinkowski, our communications person in the district, gave me a message about the fact that we have now, we had a very short time period where we were able to get the information to the middle school parents and families that we were going to be able to have some safe, socially distanced after school activities, cross country and volleyball, and in a very short period of time, everybody pulled together. As a result, we have 5th through 8th graders signed up for cross country, 75 of them. And we have 36 girls signed up for 7th and 8th grade volleyball. So They actually have their season openers Thursday, the 17th. So it's going to be a very different season, but they're still having some activities, which is really nice. Then just an example of emails that we've received, and to be fair, people have given us feedback when there have been problems, and we really work to solve those, and we do want feedback where if people are having issues, and we'll solve and work on those problems. But just we've had a lot of feedback too from people who are pleased with the way things are going. Here's an example from a parent. I just wanted to send our thanks to you and the planners of Plymouth's back to school protocols. We've been impressed so far with the hybrid process. This is a high school parent. It certainly took great care and thoughtfulness to come up with the rotation plan that's being used. And the fact that they are focused on a half a day at a time is genius. There's not really been any stress at our house about schoolwork this week, and I know that they were expected to do a full day, if they were expected to do a full day of classes online and then homework at night, that would not have been the case. In a less than ideal situation, needing to do virtual some of the time, this is pretty good. I think that's good. That's a good compliment. This is pretty good. Yeah. It's also going to be an easy transition if we have to go fully online at any time. We really hope that the teachers are feeling good and confident and not overburdened about doing school this way for now. And so I just wanted to also mention that the PHS squad, the group had a scheduling team that worked, as you knew, when I was giving my updates about the reopening plan starting way back in June already, like what are we gonna do and what's it gonna look like? There was a team, and I just wanted to recognize that team that came up with the different options that you were presented with and looked through so many of those details. And that team consisted of Greg Gritt, Jason Jacobs, Jeremy Ross, Meredith Herrera, Jason Sobronic, Mitchell Tempest, Brad Fike, Megan Rickmeyer, and Jennifer Biller. And I know he didn't put his name on here because he sent the email to me, but Andy Novak led that group without a principal, just by himself for that entire summer, so he did a great job with that. And then Dina mentioned the tech group, and so they did a wonderful job as well. And then one final thing, we have some activity, actual results to report, the things that are actually going on already. Girls cross country won the Sheboygan Falls invite, with Maggie Munson taking first place individually. Boys cross country took second place at the Sheboygan Falls invite, with Jacob Gruntner taking first place individually. The girls tennis team is off to a 3-0 conference start. The girls swim and dive team competed in their first meet last week in Kohler, taking second place. And boys soccer has their first home game today. It was going on earlier, and they're here. So things are happening, kids are having some activities. So I'm super pleased about that. We've got some upcoming events. The board meeting next month is the 12th for the committee of the whole. That's at 5:30. And then the annual meeting, that will be scheduled at the old regular time of 7 o'clock. That's when the meeting will start. And so that will be on October 20th. And one other note, because things are constantly changing this year with teams that were able to play and not able to play, or, the one-act play, where is it gonna be and where can we view it and those kinds of things, all of that is on our webpage. If you go to our webpage, families out there, you go to the Students and Families tab, click on that, drop down to calendars, and then underneath in calendars, you'll find everything with sports, performances, all of that. So it's Students and Families, and then calendars. And those things are constantly being updated because they are still changing. And I would anticipate that all year.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you, Dan. Well, that completes our agenda, with the exception of a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.